جی بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. Welcome to online Qur'an Symposium, Baitul Noor region. And today is Sunday, 24th January 2021.
Can I request Muhammad Rafiq Bhatti Sahab for tilawat, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Translation. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. Allah burdens not any soul beyond its capacity. It shall have the reward it earns, and it shall get the punishment it incurs. Our Lord, do not punish us if we forget or fall into error, and our Lord, lay not on us our responsibility as thou didst lay upon those before us. Our Lord, burden us not with what we have not the strength to bear, and efface our sins, and grant us forgiveness and have mercy on us. Thou art our Master. So help us, though against the disbelieving people. Allahumma salli.
Jazakallah. Can I request Salim Sabisam for Nazam, please?
درست مین میں سے چند اشعار پیش خدمت ہیں. اوصاف قرآن مجید. نور فرقان ہے جو سب نوروں سے اجلا نکلا. پاک وہ جس سے یہ انوار کا دریا نکلا. حق کی توحید کا مرجھا ہی چلا تھا پودا. ناگہاں غیب سے یہ چشمہ اطفا نکلا. या इलाही तेरा फुरकान है कि एक आलम है जो जरूरी था वो सब इसमें मुहैया निकला किससे उस नूर की मुमकिन हो जहां में तशबीह वो तो हर बात में हर वस्फ में यकता निकला पहले समझे थे कि मूसा का असा है फुरकान फिर जो सोचा तो हर एक लफ्ज मसीहा निकला
Jazakallah. Now can I request our regional missionary Sahab to address us, please?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakumullah everyone for joining this Holy Quran seminar. And of course, Jazakumullah to Hafiz Sahib, Hafiz Fazil Rabbi Sahib for organizing this seminar and these sort of events as well. In the Holy Quran, Allah the Almighty says in the beginning of the Holy that in the opening of the Holy Quran, Allah the Almighty says about the Holy Quran itself that this is a perfect book, there is no doubt in it, it is a guidance for the righteous. It is even more important for us Ahmadi Muslims to not only read the Holy Quran, but of course to act upon the Holy Quran. The promised Messiah ﷺ has said in a place that there are 700 commandments written in the Holy Quran. 700 things which Allah the Almighty wants from us Ahmadi Muslims. And even if you don't act upon one of those things intentionally, then there's a deficiency in your faith. What happens sometimes is that we read the Holy Quran, but when we're reading it, we make a few mistakes. And those mistakes, if not corrected, they turn into even bigger mistakes. And this has happened on so many occasions because we see that when people get a little bit older, they start reciting the Holy Quran in their way. And because they haven't been corrected in a very long time, these mistakes turn into very big mistakes. Sometimes they prolong something. Sometimes they shorten something too much. Sometimes they completely mispronounce the fatha, dhamma, the kasra, all these different things, they mispronounce it. And I know because I take some classes for Atfal, I take Khuddam classes, I take Ansar classes on a local level or at a regional level as well for some Jamaats. The reason why I'm saying or why I'm reiterating this is because sometimes we read the Holy Quran, but we are reading it in our own in our hearts. We're reading it not aloud. I just want to put a narration, a hadith of the Holy Prophet ﷺ before everyone. He has said that those people who don't recite the Holy Quran in a melodious voice, in a nice and beautiful voice, they are not from among us. So yes, it is a very good thing that we read the Holy Quran, but if we're reading it in our own voices, if we're not reading it out loud, then how will we know if we are reading what we are reading is correct? And of course, in instruction by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, we must try and endeavor that we should read the Holy Quran in a very beautiful, in a melodious voice, so that not just us, but all the people that are around us, they can benefit from that one as well. By looking at the agenda or the program, Alhamdulillah, I think Hafiz Sahib has, he's prepared a very good presentation. Now, the first thing which Hafiz Sahib will be speaking about is some of the mispronounced Quranic words in Salat, in Namaz. And this is also very important as well, because sometimes I'll just give one small example that after the sajda, after the two sajdas, when we prostrate to Allah the Almighty, we bow down to Allah the Almighty on the floor, and then after that we get up and we sit down, the prayer that we recite is At-Tahiyyatu. And sometimes, because we've learned the namaz, we've learned the Arabic prayers in a very, when we were very young, we don't correct that when we get older. And so sometimes what we do is, when we do namaz, we are doing it very quickly. We say At-Tahiyyatu. We miss out the ha, At-Tahiyyatu, and then we miss out the shadda as well. So these are very small. They might seem as if they're small things, but they are actually very big things. There's no such thing as At-Tahiyyatu. It's At-Tahiyyatu lillahi was-salawatu, and then the whole prayer. So this is a very good program, and I will encourage all of the members who have joined at the moment, if they can get their whole family members to come and listen to this program, because this is a very vital and very interesting program as well. And of course, I am sure that you will benefit from this one as well, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah.
Jazakallah Murabi Sahab. Now I believe Hafiz Sahab will take over for a lecture. Jazakallah Murabi Sahab. Jazakallah Hafiz Sahab.
Jazakumullah, thank you so much for your nice words. And now, Mansab.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Mueed Hamid. I am Naib Secretary Talimul-Quran, UK. The presentation which I'm going to take you through is Path to Success and Prosperity. In Adhan, we say Hayya ala falah, Hayya ala falah. So it is the exact meaning of those verses. This presentation is formulated in three parts. The first, we'll discuss Salat as a pinnacle of faith. Then we will discuss importance of correct pronunciation. And then mispronounced words in Salat. We will discuss some of the most mispronounced words. This presentation is trilingual, and I'll be presenting in English and Arabic, and my friend Rafishan Sahab, he will be presenting in Urdu and Arabic. So first of all, Salat, as we all know, is among the 5 pillars of Islam: Kalima, prayer, fasting, zakat, and Hajj. In the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Ankabut, chapter 29, verse 46, Allah Ta'ala says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, wa aqimith salah, and observe prayer. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Surely, prayer restrains one from indecency and manifest evil. Wala zikrullahi akbar, and remembrance of Allah indeed is the greatest virtue. Now, in 5 daily prayers, we recite Arabic words and portions from the Holy Quran. Today, the presentation we are going to see is covering how to pronounce these words correctly and why. Why it is so important to pronounce these words correctly, and what will happen if we fail to do so. So broadly speaking, there are 2 types of common errors that we see while reciting the verses of the Holy Quran or while going through the words of Arabic words in Salat. First main type of error is where the meaning is changed. If we mispronounce the word, the entire meaning of the word changes and it have a major impact on the verse. For example, an'amta means you blessed, and an'amtu means I blessed. So now imagine in Surah Fatiha, if you mispronounce the word, Sirat al-lazina an'amta alayhim, path of those whom you blessed, to an'amtu, you can well imagine what difference will it make. Similarly, changes to the sound effect of the word. The other main type is where if you mispronounce, it will change the sound effect, thus having a bad impression on the listener, which will give an impression that you don't know your recitation well. So there are three basic rules to correct. One thing which we all know is there is no age, there is no end to learning. We can learn at any age, at any part of our life. So if we want to correct our recitation, first of all, I mean, there could be so many rules, but we have concised them into three basic rules of correct recitation. The first one, giving each letter its due right, as Murabi Sahib was just saying. The second is prolonging or shortening each letter according to strokes and signs. And thirdly, pronouncing each letter according to their attributes. So when we say giving each letter its due right, for example, in a'udhu, when we say ta'uz, we say a'udhu billah. If we say a'udhu billah, it will not give ayn its due right. So similarly, in an'amta, ta has a fatha. And we have just said that if we say an'amtu, we are not giving ta its due right because it's a fatha and we are reading with dhamma, thus changing the meaning of the entire word and changing the meaning of the entire verse as well. Now, second correction that we need to learn is prolonging or shortening each letter according to the strokes or signs. Strokes or signs are fatha, kasra, and dhamma. In Urdu, we call them zabar, zir, and pesh. So we will learn this into three main categories: 1 second rules, 2 second rules, and more than 2 second rules, which could be 3 to 4 seconds or 5 to 6 second rules, 4 to 6 second rules. So first is 1 second rule. Whenever there is a short vowel, fatha, kasra, or dhamma on any of the word, that letter needs to be 1 second. Like, for example, kataba. If we say kataba, it would be wrong. Kataba, it would be wrong. Similarly, shariba. Similarly, fu'ila. So you can see that if we prolong that, it would be changing the meanings either or sound effect. The second is 2 second rule. 2 second rule is a very widespread rule throughout the Holy Quran. There are so many different areas in which 2 second rule is applied. The first one is long vowel, fatha ishbaiya, kasra ishbaiya, and dhamma ishbaiya. So you can see that over here in Urdu we call fatha ishbaiya khadi zabar, kasra ishbaiya khadi zair, and dhamma ishbaiya ulti pesh. So over here it's 2 second rule. Ilafi, alimu, falahu. So if we prolong it less than 2 seconds, it would be wrong. The second thing to learn in 2 second rule is huruful madda. In Arabic, there are 3 letters which are called huruful madda: alif, vaw, and ya. The rule of thumb is that if vaw is preceded with a dhamma, it will elongate the u sound to 2 seconds. If ya is preceded with a letter with a kasra, it will elongate the e sound to 2 seconds. And if alif is preceded with a haraf or letter with a fatha, it will elongate the a sound for 2 seconds. For example, in these cases, utina, udina. See? Next rule in the 2 second rule is huruful lin, gliding vowels. Lean means to ease or to soften. In the rules of recitation, if vaw and ya are strokeless, sakin, and preceded by consonants bearing the strokes of fatha, they are called huruful lin or letters of ease. In the above Quranic examples, both types can be seen. For example, awhayna, awhayna. If we say awhayna, it would not be a gliding sound. If we say hawlayna, it would be incorrect. Hawlayni, yawmayni. So see, these are huruful lin. In the 2 second rule, the next thing to learn is ghunna. Ghunna means sustained nasal sound that is emitted from the nose pipe. Mim and noon are 2 letters which emit this sustained nasal sound when they bear the sign of shadda. The duration of ghunna should not be less than 2 seconds or counts. For example, mim, sum, in, an. In the 2-second rule, there is another thing to learn, which is ikhfa. Light nasal sound should always be prolonged for 2 counts if the next letter appears without the tashdid in the text of the Holy Quran after noon sakin or tanween, excluding 6 letters of ishar and 1 letter of iqlab. For example, yuntharuna min salsal. So see, there are a number of rules which are related to 2 seconds rule. Idgham is also one of that. We will just quickly, because of the time, I will just quickly go through the rest of the part. Merging sound, assimilation, idgham. There are 6 letters, ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and noon. If we want to learn them, yarmaloon is one word to learn all these letters. Out of these, ya, noon, mim, and waw, yanmu, are those word huruf which merge with 2 seconds ghunna. For example, and it is called idgham naqis, 2 second ghunna. For example, in the example of man yaqulu min ni'matin min malin. See? So if noon sakin or tanween is joining with any of these 4 words, it would be 2 seconds nasal sound. Then comes 4 to 6 second rule, madda kabira and madda saghira. For example, in madda saghira example is we say ya ayyuhallazina amanu, for example, in so many places. And similarly, madda kabira, ja'a. So it would be elongated for 4 to 6 second rules. Now, the thing to be learned is when you are reciting Holy Quran in a flow, in a routine, when you recite every day, it would be a faster pace. But when we are reciting on stage in front of people, then it would be maybe 6 second rules, right? So 4 to 6 second rule is similarly 1 second, 2 second, 4 second, 6 second rules can be adjusted according to your speed of recitation. Now, the prolonging or shortening of each letter according to strokes and signs, why it is very important. For example, qala means he said, and qala means they, 2 persons said. La raiba, no doubt, like in Surah Al-Baqarah. La raiba, surely there is a doubt. Now imagine reciting that verse with la raiba fihi, zalikal kitabu la raiba fihi wrongly, and say la raiba. So na'uzu billah, it would be kalma kufr. Similarly, prolonging each word letter according to its attributes, like qaf and kaf are 2 different letters. Ain and alif are 2 different letters. Aminun means blind and aminun means trustworthy. Our Holy Prophet ﷺ was known as trustworthy, Amin. Now imagine wrongly pronouncing it to Amin, na'uzu billah. And then there are thick letters and thin letters. There are some letters, kha, sad, dad, ta, dha, ghain, and qaf. These are thick letters, and there are few letters like alif, lam, ra. These three letters are conditionally thick letters. Now, the second part of presentation is from my colleague, my friend, Rafi Shahnawaz Saab. He will explain all these rules, which I have just very quickly gone through, and how these rules apply in Salat, and how these rules impact our Salat and the words we say in it. This part of the presentation is in Urdu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. खास सर का नाम जैसा कि मुझे सर ने बताया रफ़ी अहमद शाहनवाज है, और इंशाल्लाह ताला मैं आपके सामने वो मिस्टेक्स, वो गलतियां आपके सामने पेश करूंगा जो अननोन मिस्टेक्स, जो हमें इल्म नहीं होती। हम नमाज पढ़ रहे होते हैं लेकिन वो गलतियां सामने हमें इल्म नहीं होता। تو چلتے ہیں ہم. سب سے پہلے ہے جب ہم شروع کرتے ہیں نماز, اللہ اکبر. تو بعض دفعہ سننے میں آتا ہے اللہ اکبر, تو واو کی جو ٹچ ہے, واو کی فیلنگ نہیں ہونی چاہیے. اللہ اکبر. اور کاف جو ہے یہ باریک تھن لیٹر ہے, اس لیے اس کی آواز یہاں پر کلکلا نہیں ہونی چاہیے, جو کہ 2 نقطوں والا کاف پر ہوتا ہے. اکبر سمائلی فیس کر کے اکبر, اللہ اکبر. یا بعض دفعہ اللہ اکبر, تو یہ بھی غلط ہے. آگے چلتے ہیں. اس سے پہلے ایک لفظ جو اس میں نہیں ہے میں وہ بھی واضح کر دیتا ہوں. سبحانک اللہم, تو سبحانک اللہم نہیں, سبحانک اللہم. اللہ پر کھڑی زبر ہے, تو سبحانک اللہم. آگے ہے بعد دفعہ ہم ترین پڑھیں وطا بارہ قسموں کا, وطا بارہ قسموں کا, تو وطا بارہ نہیں, و تا با, کیونکہ با پر فتح ہے, زبر ہے, 7 الف ہے, تو 2 سیکنڈ اس کی آواز لمبی کر کے وطا بارہ قسموں کا, تو اس طرح سے صحیح ادائیگی ہوگی. آگے ہے جیسے ہم سنتے ہیں وطالہ جدو کا, جو وطالہ نہیں, و تا لا, آ اور لا دونوں 2 سیکنڈ اس کی آواز لمبی کریں گے. وَتَعَالَى جَدُّكَ, کیونکہ آپ کو علم ہے کہ جیسا کہ مدبی صاحب نے بتایا اور بھی ابھی مویز صاحب نے بھی, کہ جب ہم چھوٹی آواز کو بڑی آواز میں پڑھیں گے تو معنی چینج ہو جائیں گے, یا بڑی آواز کو چھوٹی آواز کر دیں گے تو معنی چینج ہو جائیں گے. اس لیے عربی زبان میں بہت ہی ضروری ہے کہ اس کا صحیح تلفظ ہمیں پڑھنا آتا ہو. آگے چلتے ہیں. ہاں یہ ہے ولا الہ, تو ولا الہ نہیں, یعنی لا کو جھولا بنا کے ساتھ ہی نیچے لے کے آنا, بلکہ ہر ساؤنڈ نیٹ اینڈ کلین سنائی دے. لا ولا الہ, کیونکہ لا کی ڈائریکشن اور ہے اور ای کی ڈائریکشن اور ہے, تو اس کو مکس نہیں کرنا. ولا الہ, تو یہ ہوگا اس کا صحیح تلفظ. آگے ہے قرآن کریم میں یعنی ہزاروں جگہ پر لام جزم آپ کو نظر آئے گی, تو جب بھی لام جزم کا ساؤنڈ ہوگا تو اس کو لمبی نہیں کرنا, ال نہیں کریں گے کہیں بھی قرآن کریم میں, پورے میں کوئی رول نہیں اس کا, ال بس. اور نہ ہی یہ جو الحمد, الحمد یا الحمد, یہ بھی نہیں, نہ تو دو کی آواز لمبی کرنی ہے, نہ ہم کو لمبا کرنا ہے, نہ ال کو لمبا کرنا ہے. الحمد, تینوں ساؤنڈ جو ایک ایک سیکنڈ لیں گے. میم کی جو آواز ہے وہ ابھی جیسے بتایا گیا, اس کی لمبی کرنے کا رول علیحدہ ہے. جب میم پر تشدید ہو تو 2 سیکنڈ گنا کر کے, یا میم کے بعد میم ہو پھر 2 سیکنڈ گنا کر کے, یا میم کے بعد با ہو تو پھر میم کی آواز لمبی ہوتی ہے, ورنہ کہیں بھی میم کی آواز کو جزم کو لمبا نہیں کرنا. تو یہ ہوگا الحمد. آگے تو یہ جو میم پر آپ کو ورٹیکل فتح کھڑی زبر نظر آ رہی ہے, یہ ہے مالکی. اگر ہم جلدی میں پڑھیں گے مالک یوم الدین, تو یہ اس کے معنی چینج ہو جائیں گے, کیونکہ مالک کے معنی اور ہیں اور مالک کے معنی اور ہیں. تو یہ ہے مالکی, اس کے صحیح تلفظ ہوگا. آگے ہے بعد دفعہ پڑھتے ہیں ہم یوم الدین, تو یو نہیں ہے, کیونکہ واو اور یا 2 لیٹر یاد رکھیں تھے ان میں, واو اور یا, جب بھی ان پر جزم ہوگی اور اس سے پہلے حرف پر زبر پیش ہوگی تو حروف لین, زبر ہوگی تو حروف لین کی طرح ادا کیا جائے گا یو, تو یہ ہوگا یوم الدین, یوم الدین نہیں ہوگا. تو یہ واو یہاں حرف لین کا کام دے رہا ہے, تو نرمی سے اس ادائیگی کی جاتی ہے یوم الدین. آگے ہے جب جلدی میں نماز پڑھ جائے تو ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین, تو ایاک نعبد نہیں, ایاک, یا پر تشدید ہے, اور جب بھی کسی حرف پر تشدید تو وہ ڈبل ٹائم لیتا ہے, ایا پہلے ایج پھر یا, ایاک, اور کا بھی باریک آواز میں, ایاک نہ ہو, ایاک. آگے ہے نعبدو, تو بعض دفعہ نعبدو یہ بھی غلط ہے. یا نعبدو بعض اوقات تلاوت میں بندہ سنتا ہے ایاک نعبدو و ایاک نستعین، یہ بھی غلط ہے. نہ آئین ہے جو آئین ساکن ہے وہ نرمی کے ساتھ ادا کیا جاتا ہے. نعبدو نعبدو، آئین کا حمزہ نہ بنے، یہ نعبدو بھی نہ ہو، نعبدو. تو یہ ہوگا اس کا صحیح تلفظ. یہ بھی بڑا اہم یہاں یہ سمجھنے والی بات ہے. اکثر یہاں غلطی ہوتی ہے تو بعض بات سننے میں آتا ہے اہدے، تو اہدے نہیں ہوگا یہ، کیونکہ ہا ساکن ہے. تو جب بھی حروف کلکلہ جو ہمیں پتہ ہے قاف تا با جیم دال، 5 حروف کے علاوہ کوئی بھی حرف ساکن ہو تو جب وہ جوائنٹ ہوگا تو اس کو ہلے نہیں اپنی جگہ سے، یعنی یعنی ہا پر آگے آواز رک جائے، ہا اپنی جگہ پر قائم رہے. اہدی، تو اہدے بھی نہیں ہوگا، دی کی آواز بھی 1 سیکنڈ ہوگی، اور بھی اہدی، تو اہدے نہیں ہوگا. یہ بڑی کامن مسٹیک عام طور پہ ہوتی ہے. تو آگے چلتے ہیں. انعمتا، ابھی جیسے موئی صاحب نے بھی انگلش میں بتایا کہ انعمتا یہ نون ساکن یا تنوین ڈبل سٹروک، 2 زبر 2 زیر 2 پیش، یہ 2 چیزیں یاد رکھیں. نون ساکن یا 2 زبر 2 زیر 2 پیش کے بعد اگلا حرف حروف ہلکیہ آئین غائن ہا اور حمزہ، ان 6 حروف میں سے کوئی بھی ہو تو نون ساکن پر آواز واضح کلیئر اور 1 سیکنڈ کی ہوگی. اس کو لمبا نہیں کریں گے، ان نہیں کریں گے، ان. تو یہ ہوگا کیونکہ آگے آئین ہے، ان آگے ہے امتا. تو میم کا جیسا کہ میں نے بھی پہلے بتایا تھا الحمد پہ، یعنی میم کی آواز لمبی نہیں ہوگی. امتا، ان امتا، تو یہ اس کا صحیح تلفظ ہوگا. ان ام کوئی آواز یا تا آواز لمبی نہیں ہوگی، ان امتا. تو آگے چلتے ہیں. تو یہ اس کا صحیح جو تلفظ ہے علیہم، تو نہ تو علیہم ہو، یعنی آئین کا الف نہ بنایا جائے، آئین کو تھوڑا سا تکلف کر کے تھوڑا سا داغی کی جائے گلے میں سے، علی ہو، اور علیہم نہ ہو. علیہم عربی کا جو صحیح تلفظ ہے اس کا علیہم. تو آگے ہے جی، یہاں پر بھی عام طور پہ اس کی پریکٹس کرنی پڑتی ہے جن کو یہ پڑھنا نہ آتا ہو. ولد عام طور پہ پڑھا جاتا ہے ولد لین، یعنی ولد کو ایک پارٹ بنا دیا جاتا ہے اور دوسرا پارٹ لین پڑھ دیا جاتا ہے. جبکہ آپ دیکھ سکتے ہیں لام مشدد ہے، لام پر تشدید ہے، تو پہلے آپ سارا فل لام تک پڑھیں، اسے لام پہ سارا لوڈ لائیں اس کا. ولد جیسے اس کو ولد بھی پڑھتے ہیں اور ولد بھی پڑھتے ہیں، دونوں طرح پڑھ سکتے ہیں. تو ولد تو جب لام تک پہنچ جائے، کیونکہ لام مشدد ہے تو ڈبل ٹائم لام لے گی، لام پہ تھوڑا سا اسٹے کریں، پھر اس کو لین ولد کیونکہ دعات پر وہ بڑی ہے مد ہے، اس لیے 4 سے 6 سیکنڈ آواز لمبی کر کے تو ولد تو اس کی پریکٹس کریں گے تو انشاءاللہ یہ بھی آسان ہو جائے گا بالکل. آگے یہ تعوذ ہے، عام طور پہ بڑی اس کی پریکٹس کرانی پڑتی ہے، یعنی اعوذ باللہ. اعوذ باللہ نہیں ہے یہ، آپ دیکھیں پہلا ساؤنڈ ہے الف پر زبر ہے 1 سیکنڈ، پھر آئین پر دمہ پیش ہے اور واو پر جزم ہے، تو 2 سیکنڈ اس کی آواز ہوگی. او، اگر دونوں کو ملا کے پڑھیں او، اس لیے او نہیں ہوگا، یہ اعوذ زو کی آواز 1 سیکنڈ ہوگی. اعوذ، اعوذ باللہ نہیں ہوگا یہ اعوذ. آگے چلتے ہیں، ہم پڑھتے ہیں یہ تعوذ پڑھتے ہیں اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. یہ تو نہیں ہے، غنہ نہیں ہے اس میں، تو میں یہ تھک لیٹر ہے، اور نہ تو یہ اس میں غنہ ہوگا اور نہ ہی من الشیطان الرجیم تو بھی نہیں ہوگا، یعنی واو کا ٹچ بھی نہ ہو. ہلکا سا منہ کرم میں کریں گے تو یہ ادائیگی ہو جائے گی، کوئی مشکل نہیں ہے الگ فل سے. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. تو یہ ہے اس کا صحیح تلفظ. آگے ہے، اصل میں جب ہم نماز تیزی کے ساتھ پڑھتے ہیں تو اس وقت غلطیاں زیادہ ہوتی ہیں. سبحان ربی العظیم، سبحان ربی العظیم، سبحان ربی العظیم. اصل میں نماز جو ہے خدا تعالیٰ سے ملاقات کا سب سے بہترین ذریعہ ہے، اور اس میں یہ حکم ہے کہ کم از کم یہ ہو اگر کہ جیسے آپ خدا کو دیکھ رہے ہیں. تو اگر یہ نہیں ہے تو پھر یہ ہو کہ خدا تعالیٰ آپ کو دیکھ رہا ہے، یہ یقین ہو آپ کو. تو جب ہم کسی دفتر وغیرہ میں جاتے ہیں تو بڑے ادب کے ساتھ، احترام کے ساتھ بات کرتے ہیں. تو اسی طرح نماز میں اگر ہم اسی طرح توجہ رکھ کے ادب احترام کے ساتھ نماز پڑھیں گے تو انشاءاللہ غلطیاں ساری کلیئر ہو جائیں گی. تو یہ ہے سبحان ربی یل عظیم، ربی یل عظیم. تو اس کا صحیح تلفظ یہ ہوگا سبحان ربی یل عظیم. آگے ہے، ہاں جی، یہ ہے جب ہم رکوع سے کھڑے ہوتے ہیں، سمی اللہ لمن حمدہ. تو یہ ہم پڑھتے ہیں سمی اللہ لمن حمدہ. تو یہ بعد دفعہ سننے میں آتی ہے آوازیں. تو یہ حمدہ نہیں ہے، کیونکہ دال پر فتح ہے، زبر ہے، اور ہا پر انورس دمہ الٹی پیش ہے. تو جب ہم وقف کریں گے تو ہا پر ساکن کرنے کے لیے جزم لگائیں گے. تو حمدہ سمپل بھی نہیں ہوگا، ہا کو ٹکر لگے جا کے حمدہ، سمی اللہ لمن حمدہ. آگے چلتے ہیں. یہ بھی اس طرح جس طرح سبحان ربی العظیم والی غلطی سے جہاں بھی سبحان ربی اللہ، سبحان ربی اللہ، یہ نہیں، اس کا ہے کہ سبحان ربی یل اعلی، سبحان ربی یل اعلی. آئین کی ادائیگی ہونی چاہیے، اعلی بھی نہ ہو، سمپل نہ ہو، سبحان ربی یل اعلی. تو آگے چلتے ہیں. ہاں جی، ابھی جیسے کہ مربی صاحب نے بھی لفظ کے متعلق بتایا کہ التحیات، ہر تشدید والا لیٹر کے 2 ایکشن ہوں گے. التحیات. تو اگر صحیح نماز جانا التحیات للہ بندہ فٹافٹ جلدی جلدی پڑھتا ہے تو وہ نہیں ٹھیک. التحیات یہ لفظ ہے. تو آگے چلتے ہیں. ایو ہن، نون، جب بھی نون پر تشدید ہوگی یا میم پر تشدید ہوگی تو 2 سیکنڈ گنا کر کے اس کی ادائیگی ہوگی ایو ہن نبیو. عام طور پہ کسرہ یعنی زیر کا یہ رول ہے کہ جس حرف کے نیچے زیر ہو اور آگے یا پر جزم ہو تو آواز 2 سیکنڈ ہم لمبی کریں گے، لیکن وہ شرط یہ ہے کہ یا پر جزم ہونی چاہیے، تشدید نہیں. تو عام طور پہ یہاں بھی آواز لمبی کر دی جاتی ہے. تو یہ ہے ایوہن نبیو، بیجو یعنی یا کو با کے ساتھ ہٹ کریں گے فوری طور پہ، بیجو اس کی تشدید کی ادائیگی کے ساتھ، ایوہن نبیو. تو یہ اس کا صحیح تلفظ ہوگا. آگے ہے وبرکاتہ. یہ عام بھی ہم زندگی میں جب ہم ایک دوسرے سے سلام لیتے ہیں السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، تو جب ہم کہتے ہیں وبرکاتہ تو اصل میں جب آخری حرف ہو ساکن کرنے کے لیے اس پر جزم آئے گی تو یہ ہوگا وبرکاتہ، اور کا بھی بریک کر کے و با را پور کر کے وبرکاتہ. آگے چلتے ہیں. ہاں جی، یہ اذان میں بھی الفاظ ہیں اور نماز میں بھی ہیں. یہ غلطی اکثر ہوتی ہے، یعنی اشہدو، یعنی اشہدو پہلے تو غلطی ہوتی ہے اشہدو، یعنی شین کو سلپ کر کے دال پر اشہدو. تو اشہدو نہیں ہے، اشہدو، اشہدو. اس کے بعد ان لا نہیں ہے. جب بھی نون ساکن کے بعد واو اور یا مشدد کے علاوہ کوئی بھی لیٹر ہوگا تو نون ٹوٹلی سائلنٹ ہوگا. صرف نون ساکن کے بعد واو اور یا 2 لیٹر اگر آ جائیں ان پر گناہ کے ساتھ آواز آئے گی تشدید پر، اور اس کے علاوہ 2 کے علاوہ کوئی بھی لیٹر ہوگا تو ہمیشہ نون سائلنٹ ہو جائے گا. تو یہاں اشہدو، پہلا تو یہ تلفظ صحیح کرنا ہے، اشہدو، اشہدو نہیں کہنا، اشہدو اللہ الہ. تو تو لا الہ یہ بھی وہی نہ ہو، یعنی کہ اوپر سے لا کھینچ کے نیچے نہیں لانا. اشہد اللہ کٹ الہ، اشہد اللہ الہ، تو اشہد اللہ غلط ہوگا. تو آگے چلتے ہیں. ہاں جی، یہ درود شریف میں بار بار رسول کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کا نام آتا ہے. تو ہم عام طور پہ سنتے ہیں کہ اللہم صلی علی محمد، صلی علی محمد. تو صلی علی محمد نہیں کہیں گے جب رکیں گے، اللہم صلی علی محمد، بلکہ واو پر تشدید اگر کنٹینیو بھی پڑھیں گے تو اللہم صلی علی محمد و علی آل محمد، کیونکہ وقف یا تو جو محمدن کا ہے دال پر دو زیر کی جگہ جزم لگائیں گے تو محمد، اللہم صلی علی محمد و علی آل محمد. یہ جیسے ابھی نے ذکر کیا ولا آل محمد نہیں ہوگا، یہ وعلا، لام سے پہلے آئین ہے تو تیزی میں بات اگر سنیں تو کہتے ہیں اللہم صلی علی محمد وعلی آل محمد وعلی آل وعلی آل محمد، اللہم صلی علی محمد وعلی آل محمد. تو یہ اس کی ہے صحیح تلفظ. آگے ہاں جی، با رکتا، تو یہ کاف جو ہے باریک حرف ہے، تھن لیٹر ہے، تو با رکتا نہ ہو، یہاں کرکلا نہیں ہونا چاہیے، یہ جنبش نہیں ہونی چاہیے کاف کو. با رکتا اس کا صحیح تلفظ ہے با رکتا. تو آگے چلتے ہیں. ہاں جی، یہاں بھی عام طور پہ غلطی ہوتی ہے، ربی جالنی، تو ربی جالنی نہیں ہے، غور سے آپ دیکھیں پہلا ساؤنڈ ہے ربج، یعنی را با اور جیم تینوں کا ادغام ہو کے ربج ال. دوسری غلطی ہوتی ہے ربی جالنی، نی کو شارٹ پڑھا جاتا ہے. یہاں دیکھیں نون کے نیچے کسرہ اور آگے یا پر جزم ہے، تو نی 2 سیکنڈ آواز لمبی کر کے ربج النی، تو ربی جالنی غلط ہوگا. دو غلطیاں اس میں ہوں گی، ربی نہیں ہے، ربج جیم تک ساؤنڈ جائے گا، ربج النی، ربج النی. تو آگے چلتے ہیں. ہاں جی، یہاں جب ادائیگی کرتے وقت زیر زبر پیش کا خیال رکھنا پڑتا ہے. مقیم الصلاتی، ایک تو میم پر فتح ہے، زبر ہے، اس کے بعد صاد آگے سکل لیٹر ہے، اس کو پر کر کے پڑھا جائے گا، تشدید بھی ہے. اور جو لام پر ورٹیکل فتح ہے، کھڑی زبر ہے، اس کو ہم نے گول نہیں کرنا، یعنی مقیم الصلاتی نہیں کرنا، مقیم الصلاتی، مقیم الصلاة ساتھ ہی لا سیدھا، مقیم الصلاتی. تو نہ تو مقیم الصلاتی تی کی آواز لمبی نہ ہو، تی 1 سیکنڈ صرف، لا کی آواز 2 سیکنڈ اور کی آواز 2 سیکنڈ، مقیم الصلاتی. آگے چلتے ہیں. جی، یہ بھی پڑھا جائے ذریتی، تو ذریت نہیں ہے، پہلے را ہٹ کریں گے زال کے ساتھ، پھر یا ہٹ ہوگا را کے ساتھ، کیونکہ را پر بھی تشدید ہے اور یا پر بھی. تو یہاں بھی ذری لمبا نہیں ہوگا، ذریہ، ذریہ کوئک ایکشن ہے یہاں، کیونکہ تشدید ہے، یا پر جزم نہیں ہے کہ ری لمبا کریں، ذریہ تی، تو ذریتی نہیں ہوگا، یہ ذریتی، تی کی آواز 2 سیکنڈ آواز لمبی ہوگی، کیونکہ تا کے نیچے زیر ہے اور آگے یا پر جزم ہے، تو یہ ہوگا ذریتی. جی آگے چلتے ہیں. ہاں جی، یہاں اگر ہم سرسینہ سے فوری طور پہ دیکھیں تو ربنا پڑھا جاتا ہے، نظر آتا ہے ایک دم، لیکن گو کے زبر نون پر زبر اور ساتھ الف ہے، آواز 2 سیکنڈ لمبی کا رول ہے. لیکن اگر الف کے بعد کسی حرف پر بھی تشدید یا جزم آ جائے تو پھر درمیان والے جتنے بھی بلینک حروف ہوں گے وہ سائلنٹ ہو جائیں گے. تو یہ ہوگا ربا، پہلا ساؤنڈ ربا، نگ، رب نگ، پھر لی، یہاں بھی رب نگ پھر لی، تو لی والی غلطی ہوتی ہے یہاں، رب نگ پھر لی. تو یہ اس طرح اس کا تلفظ ہوگا. یہاں بھی عمومی غلطی ہوتی ہے، والے والے دیا، تو یہ والے والے دیا نہیں ہے، वली, वली, वा। यहाँ देखें, क्योंकि वाव पर ज़बर है, फतह और साथ अलिफ है, और आगे लाम पर ना तो तशदीद है तो ना जन्म, इसलिए अलिफ आवाज लंबी करेगा 2 सेकंड वाव की। वली वाली दैया, वली वाली दैया, तो ये होगा इसका सही तलफ़ुज़। हाँ जी, तो आज हम सलाम फेरते हैं नमाज में, तो अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाह, तो ये व रहमतुल्लाह नहीं है, रा पर फतह है, ज़बर है, व रहमतुल्लाह, सॉरी, व रहमतुल्लाह, तो ये रा पर हमेशा ज़बर पड़ जाएगी, और हा जो गले के मिडल में से अदा किया जाएगा, व रहमतुल्लाह। तो ये है, आगे चलते हैं, क्या है। जज़ाकुमुल्लाह अहसन जज़ा, बहुत शुक्रिया। अल्लाह ताला हमें बेहतरीन कुरान करीम पढ़ने, समझने और सुनने की तौफीक अता फरमाए, और उस पर अमल करने की तौफीक अता फरमाए।
Assalamu alaikum ji, Hafiz sahib.
Yeah, Jazakumullah. Thank you so much, Moeed Sahib and Rafi Sahib. Now the second presentation will be. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. The topic of this presentation, as you can see on the screen, is understanding the silent letters in the text of the Holy Quran. We find that more or less there are 78,000 words in the text of the Holy Quran. And when we open the very first page or any page of the text of the Holy Quran, we find that there are some letters which are written in the text, but it is not pronounced, and they are basically deleted in the pronunciation. So, how to understand those letters and how to deal with all those? We find that if we peruse the text, there are 4 letters which are empty of any harakat or any alamat or sign at some places, not all the time, but at some places. And these are alif, lam, waw, and ya. So this is the very first 3 lines of the Holy Quran. So silent letter means an empty letter, a vowel-less letter, a letter without bearing a stroke, harakat, or sign, alamat. And the first 3 lines, just for example, you can see here, the second word of basmala or tasmiya is alif, Allah. And here alif and lam, they are without any stroke. They are silent, they are empty. Again, the last word of tasmiya, ar-Rahim. Again, alif is silent, lam is silent. There is no sign or alamat on that. But they are written, they are not pronounced. And similarly, the verse number 2, Rabbil Alameen, the last words, and then verse number 3. And almost basically, there is no verse in the Holy Quran where you cannot find either alif or waw or ya or lam without any stroke. There would be some examples. Now, we have to note down these important points. Silent or empty letters may appear within a word or at the end of a word. They can be in the middle, maybe the second letter or the third letter, or at the end as well. A word cannot start with a silent letter. It is very, very important to note that a word in Arabic cannot start with a silent letter. That must be with a stroke. If that is an empty letter, we have to introduce a stroke over that. For example, alif. Only the letter alif appears in the beginning, as I said. So alif, lam, waw, and ya, these are the four letters which appear in the text without any harakat, vowel. Alif comes in the beginning, and that is the blank letter. In this case, it must be given a stroke, a harakat, to pronounce these words. Now, the case 1, role of alif with a fatha stroke in the Quranic text. And this is the second verse of Surah Al-Fatiha, which start with Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. But basically, this alif is not with a proper fatha stroke. We introduce when we start with this Alhamdu. Otherwise, this alif is in original state condition, it is without any stroke, and it means when it is without any stroke, the previous consonant, the previous letter can be joined with the sakin letter. In this case, that is lam sakin. I give you one example here back. This is Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and this alif, and I could highlight here, this alif on top of that fatha is not an original stroke. It has been placed here just to facilitate the people so that they can start with with a stroke. Alhamdu. But as you can see here, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, and you join together Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Similarly, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim Milhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, because if you want to continue, combine 3 or 4 or 5 verses together according to the length of your breath, we are allowed. So in this case, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim Milhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. So this alif, they have introduced a fatha on that. So as I mentioned that this alif, lam, waw, and ya, these are the 4 letters which appear. In today's presentation, I will be focusing only the one letter, which is alif. I'm not going to speak or touching upon waw or ya and lam, because this is our first round of our visits, the regional visits with Qur'an Symposium. And by the grace of Allah, every Sunday we are going to a different region. And before that, we covered 3-4 regions, and this is probably the 4th region in which we are here in Baitul Noor region. And next Sunday, we are going to Islamabad region, and so on, we all booked. So that is the first round. And when we complete all visits of this UK regions, then inshallah we'll come back again, and maybe it is after Ramadan, then we will give you the second presentation or the next what is in this series. So I would say that case 1 is 1 second pronunciation, which I say alhamdu. So that is clear. Now case number 2, 1 second pronunciation, and it is with the kasra. Okay, it is with the kasra. And again, remember this alif, when we start in the beginning, it takes a kasra. But when you join with the previous letter, previous word, which is nasta'in, then this alif will be dropped and you can combine together, though it is not a common practice, but it is allowed because if it is joining. So there are 2 kinds of alif. Either is a with take a kasra, fatha, kasra, dhamma, it will take a stroke, like here in this word alhamdu or ihdina, or there are fixed stroke and it cannot be changed. For example, iyaka, it can't be ayyaka or uyyaka or iyaka, or the letter alif of iyaka na'budu could be dropped, and because the previous letter was different. For example, Maliki Yawmiddin, we can't do that Maliki Yawmiddin Nayyaka. No. Maliki Yawmiddini, ya Maliki Yawmiddiniyaka. No. Alif will be read there. So there are two broad categories where alif will take stroke or alif will be fixed, whatever is written in the Quran according to certain grammatical rules. So in this case, ihdina, that will be nasta'i nuhdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. And that alif will be, you can say, hamzatul wasl. In combining that will be dropped. But mostly we will give a kasra and we start ihdina. So that is case number 2, that 1 second pronunciation will be applied here. Then you can find a word, a letter, alif, with a dhamma. And this is case number 3. You see, ughriqu. So this, again, alif has taken according to certain grammatical rules, they taken a dhamma, and it will be ughriqu. And I think in the first presentation, these things have been touched upon. Now, case number 4 is this: when alif or blank alif or empty alif comes in between a word. As I said, it could be in the beginning. We have just touched, it could be with fatha, kasra, and dhamma. I gave you the example. And also, we discussed about where alif will be dropped, will be deleted in the pronunciation in between when we are joining two verses together. Now here in case number 4, 2 seconds duration in between a word, meaning this alif is a silent, is empty, but just before there is a maftuh letter, a letter with a fatha. So the letter with a fatha, because of that, it will be with double. So qala. So alif, qala. So that will be 2 second pronunciation will be applied. Next, last letter is with the alif. You can see that is the Rabbana, and the last letter is alif. Last letter is alif. And in this case, noon will be with fatha. And this is alif will be elongated. And it will be Rabbana. Okay, and this blank alif will be an extender for noon sound, na, na. So that is case number 5. So blank alif comes in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end, and they are, so in this case, when blank alif comes in between a word, in a middle of word, or at the end, and it is connected with a consonant, it means that they are read with this extender, Rabbana. Case number 6 is, it is also very important to know, case number 6, no elongation due to this kind of alif. Remember, here alif is written and it has no function except its writing system. Because if alif will be taken as an extender of a consonant or of a letter elongation, there must be a fatha letter with a fatha before that. As we said, Rabbana long or qala. Here, before alif, there is a waw sakin. So it means there is no chance that this alif will be taken as an extender or as a prolonged, any role of prolongation. So in this case, this alif will be called alif wiqaya or protective alif. This alif is written, it is not pronounced, and it is called protective alif, alif wiqaya, that it is making a difference between two words together. Because what is word after that qalu, this alif like a barrier, like a wall, and the next word starts, so it is not joined, or it is not understood as the next word part of this qalu. So these cases, and mostly if you find in the Holy Quran, when there is a waw sakin like qalu or amanu or aminu, similarly many words, several hundred words in the Quran which at the end is waw sakin, and after that a blank alif is there, and this is one of the examples. So no elongation due to this kind of alif, and I gave you the name of the letter. Now case number 7 is the case number 7. When alif comes in the middle of a word, and it is important to note that in this case, this alif is a silent, and sometime on top of that, there is a sign of a cross. Alif with a cross on at the end. So, and in some mushaf or scriptures, copies of Quran, they are not a cross, X sign cross, but a small circle on that. So case number 7 means no elongation due to this kind of alif. Even though before there is a letter with a fatha, maftuh letter is there, but this alif will not be acting as an extender of the sound. This alif, definitely it will be written, but it should be ignored altogether in the pronunciation. And in this case, it will be afa in, not afa in, afa in, because this alif, wherever it comes in the Holy Quran, it will be there. Now, next case is where the alif with a cross that comes at the end, roll of an alif bearing a cross or a circle at the end of a word. So no elongation due to this kind of alif. No elongation due to this kind of alif. And in this case, you find nad'uwa. The letter before is waw with a fatha. And we will not be pronouncing nad'uwa because of alif. Alif is written, but on top, either you can find a cross or a small circle. So the pronunciation will be nad'uwa. So this alif is there, but it is not pronounced. Then case number 9 is elongation in waqf and non-elongating in wasl. Meaning this alif, there is no sign on that, not a cross, neither a cross, nor a circle, a small circle, jazm sign, but it is just an empty, a vowel-less alif. When you pronounce together as a combining in a recitation, it will be ana abidun. Ana abidun. Alif is written, but it is not pronounced. And ana abidun. But the case number 9 is telling elongating in waqf, meaning when you make a pause on here, it will be ana like that. Ana. But as you are joining together in a word, in a combining the words or in a recitation, and Suratul Kafirun is a good example for that. And this example is from there. Wala ana abidum ma abadtum. In this case, that will be ana abidun, not ana abidun. So remember case number 9, only making an elongation in stopping in waqf on this letter, ana. But when you joining together, that will be non-elongating. And here case number 10 is also very important. First word is ending on an alif. This case, lahwa, ending on alif, first word. And the next word is starting with alif. The other word, the next word, the second word starting with an alif. So this is case number 10. How to deal that? So in this case, it says if there are two alif together, joining together, these are the two words. First word is ending on an alif, and the second word, the succeeding word, is starting with alif. So the first word will be with elongation when we are making a pause. Lahwa, that will be right. We can't say lahv when we're stopping. Alif will be pronounced when we making pause. And when we joining together, even on this alif, you cannot find a cross or a circle. This alif will be ignored altogether, and the pronunciation of together of these two words in such words will be lahwanin faddu. This small noon under alif, that will be starting point of the second word. Lahwanin faddu, that will be the right pronunciation. But when you join, separately, when you do not combine and pronounce separately, it will be lahwa. Inshallah, from the Quran, actually, I will give you the example. This is from Suratul Jumu'ah. Now, case number 11 is about this important. Case number 10, which we said lahwa, and then next word was in faddu, and the first letter was alif, and underneath there was a small noon. So this is case number 11 for you to understand better how to deal with a blank alif when it comes in the beginning. You may remember in Surah Al-Fatiha we said Alhamdu or Ihdina. Okay, so there are certain rules how to deal with a blank letter in the beginning. So remember, when there is an alif and the very next letter is lam, alif will always be with a fatha. And that is why al-maliku, al-quddusu, as-salamu, al-mu'minu, alhamdu, ar-rahim, ar-rahman, all that, alif, lam, and alif will always with fatha. You open any page of the Holy Quran, you like to start with a blank alif and just see after alif if there is a lam sakin, or even it is written a sukoon on that or not. Even the lam is there, alif lam, both letters could be a without any sukoon or without any stroke or any harakat or alamat. Just place alif with the fatha and start the word. The next word is, you can see here, alif, dal sakin, kha, lam, waw sakin, and alif. Now by this time you know what is the function this word alif, dal, kha, lam, waw, and alif, this alif, protective alif. Alif is there as a barrier, so it is not joined to the next, and it is considered as a one. Now in here you can see alif. Now, in this case, there are two ways to find out what stroke it will take. The first method one or way one is that you consider what is the third letter. So in this case, alif is the first letter, dal is the second, and kha is the third letter. And on kha, there is a dhamma. So this blank alif in the beginning will take dhamma. Or way two or method two, that if any word with a blank alif, as in this case, then blank alif always with a second letter after that. Okay, in this case, that is dal. And after a second letter, what is the first letter? Kha, that is dhamma. So you can say that any word which is a blank alif is there, then you have to see the very first letter after a sakin, which is in this case kha. So whatever you like, either method one or method two, that will okay. But my important point is that if you take that as a method two, that after blank alif, you see the very first mutaharrik letter. Any word, very first mutaharrik letter. In this case, dal is not a mutaharrik letter. Kha is the very first mutaharrik letter. So you have to be the same identical dhamma with the blank alif dhamma. In this case, it is not wise to take the third letter as a, you can say, okay, just see the third letter, because there are some words where after blank alif, straight away a mushaddad letter is there. Like ittaqullah, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah. Okay, so in this case, there is no schoon on that, it is not evident. So when we say that that the next mutaharrik letter, it is easy to recognize. So we covered the first word, al-maliku, and then udkhulu, similarly. And now we come to the next word. Again, I would say that in this case, you see the first mutaharrik letter, the first letter which has been with a fatha, kasra, or dhamma, and in this case is a jim with a kasra. So when you find with a fatha or with a kasra, alif will take always a kasra. Even if there is word, for example, jim with a fatha, say alif, ra sakin, jim fatha, ja'i, the alif will take kasra, irji'i or irja'i. Point is that the first mutaharrik letter, if it is a fatha or with a kasra, if it is a maftu or maksur, this alif will always take a kasra. Regardless, the first word and the second word. So understand again that alif either take a fatha or kasra and dhamma. We have to take the the role of mutaharrik letter. But when it comes to with alif lam, then all this the mutaharrik letter that will be taken out of the view, because then we know that this is a noun, this is an Arabic noun, and this is not a verb. And alif lam, it is starting, alif will always take with the fatha. Inshallah, when we come to the text of the Holy Quran, that will be more easy for us to go. Now we come to case number 12, which is this: elongating in waqf and non-elongating in wasl. Now, this is the verse number 16 in Surah Dahr. Chapter number 76, Surah Dahr. Another name of that surah is Suratul Insan. And where these identical words, qawarira comes together, and in between these two words, there is a sign of verse, and that is verse number 16. So in other words, you can say that the chapter number 76 name is Surah Dahr, and the verse number 16 of chapter 76 is ending on Qawarira. And verse number 17 of that chapter starts again with the identical word Qawarira. So what is the rule of that? Rule is that, as I told you, that this alif, and on top of that, most of the time you can find a small circle or a cross. It means it will not be read. But it is important to note that in this case, we have been given two options in Riwayat Hafs, the Hafs reading of the Holy Quran, the traditional reading, which has been transmitted to us from generation to generation, how to read these words. So you have two options. Either you say Qawari Ra, long, alif will be the part of this pronunciation, or you can say Qawarir. But I prefer to do with alif, Qawari Ra, and do not take that Qawarir, though it is allowed, but I would prefer. Why? If you start reading chapter number 76, which is Surah Dahr, and after Bismillah, it is Hal ata ala al-insani hinun min al-dahri lam yakun shay'an madhkura. And just reflect on the last words of each verse. You will find there is alif. Alif, elongating alif, and madhkura or shukura. All these were, at the end, the fatha sound is elongating. So to have a rhythmical beauty of the whole of the text of the Holy Quran of that chapter, it is more appropriate, suitable, that if you include alif here. So that is an echo, a rhythm, it is not compromised. But with the next word, because this is in the part of the this verse, so it is better that when you are elongating, when you are making a waqf, there shouldn't be any waqf, basically. That is a starting point. So that alif should be ignored altogether, and you continue what is after that. So that is a special rule with the both identical words and with an alif. You take the second option, include alif, though you are allowed to not to do that, but in order to have that rhythmical, consonance and that beauty, that alif should be there. But the second alif, because that is a part of the verse in the beginning, and you want to continue, unless you want to teach someone that it could be pronounced in the either way, but even the preference will be here without alif. So I again simplify. The preference in the first will be with alif, and preference in the second will be without alif. So that is the case of case number 12. Next, we come to case number 13, and you find that here alif has come in the middle of a word. But this is a very special case, because before that, that is not a letter with a fatha. So there is no chance that this alif will be taken an extender. It will be meme with a kasra, and sometime on alif you find a cross or a circle, but it will be written but not pronounced. It will be miyata, not miyata. Alif just stands there, but without any role. Is a part of spelling. Somebody can say that if it is not any role in there, why is there? Remember, the pronunciation is different to spellings. The letters of a word, we do not pronounce all words according to the spellings. And no language is free from that. Either that is the Urdu language, German, English, any language, Hebrew. One word, the form of letters are different, as compared to the phonetic sounds of that word. So here alif always will be written, is a part of that word grammatically in its form of the letters, a word, but it will be ignored altogether. It will be miyata. Similarly, this word is after jim, G, alif is there, but alif will be written, but it will be pronounced, ignored altogether, and jim will be joined with the ya. And on ya, there is a ya on top of that, there is a mad, kabir, okay, the extra long stretch. So it will be G, so G, ja, Jim, next, let underneath is a kasra, next ya is an extender, and because of after Hamza as a top, on their bed, on that same or Hamza, so because of Hamza, this ya sound will be triple, not 4 seconds, but at least 3 times we have to multiply the elongation. So that is why Jia, that will be 4 to 5 seconds according to the mode of recitation. So this is with the alif after a letter with a kasra. Next, we come to case number 13, that is fine. Now we come to the images of the Holy Quran. And this is, basically directly from the Quran, Suratul Kaf, and chapter, verse number 24 and 26 is in our focus. Now, verse number 24, here you can find, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, wala taqulanna li shay'in. You can find here that this alif, which is highlighted, is alif, and before that there is a sheen with a fatha, maftuh letter, maftuh sheen, but after alif just is a ya, okay, and ya with a schoon. So in this case, it will not be read like that, lisha, prolonging that, lisha in. No, that will be wrong. In this case, alif will be written there, or even if there is some writing in the beginning, there was some writing errors, but it is continued with that tradition, and we are not going to take out, because that is the part of Rasmul Khat from the very beginning, and we have to learn that. So in this case, it will be li shay'in wala taqulanna li shay'in inni fa'ilun dhalika ghada. So this alif is there, and there is no sign on top of that, no cross is there, no circle is there, and most of them on the margin, sometime on margin some information is given, is not there. So remember, this is Surah Al-Kaf, verse number 24. Here alif we are not going to pronounce, and it will be li shay'in. And similarly here in verse number 26, the word is this meme, next alif, or alif without any stroke, without any harakat, and before that kasra. This alif will also be that ignored altogether, and the pronunciation will be mi'atin, thalatha mi'atin sinina. So mi'atin sinina. So that is in 24 and 26 Surah Al-Kaf. Now, next is Surah Fatir, verse number 29. And again, some people, mostly common as is that Ibadi al-ulama, a bit tricky of this writing system. Ulama'u, you can find a Hamza on this, where is my hand, Hamza, on top of that there is a Dhamma. And because Vaw is considered a very good sign for extending a Dhamma sound, so mostly people think that this Vaw should be the part of Dhamma sound, which is on top, Hamza. So it will be Ibadihil ulama'u. That is totally incorrect. Remember, this Vaw is a helping or is like a sport for Hamza. Hamza is a very particular letter. Sometimes it takes a sport, a chair, a something to help. Some help is needed according to a writing system. So in this case, Hamza is on Vav. Vav is helping on that. It just a placing in the system, writing system. So we will be focusing our pronunciation on Hamza without any Vav as an extender. And after that, I told you that Alif is just written to making sure that this is a protective Alif is not joining together. So ibadihil ulama, yani Hamza sakin at the end, that will be manifested. That will be part of the pronunciation. But we will ignore two letters altogether in this case, Surah Fatir, or any other case in the Holy Quran. I give you an example that is also found in Surah Ar-Rum, chapter 31, Surah Ar-Rum. And in the second ruku, you will find similar examples or similar writing. So we will ignore Vav altogether and Alif after that altogether. Our full focus will be on Hamza. And we know that when we are making a stop on Hamza with any letter, with a Fatha, Kasra or Dhamma, single letter, Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma, that will turn into a Sukoon, okay, Sakin. That Hamza will be a Sakin. So in this case, Ibadihil ulama, at the end there will be a light sound as your voice sound is ending on Hamza Sakin, like a little bit it is not a jerking sound, but it is a catch of the air in between where there's articulation point. So that is Surah Fatir, verse number 29. Now, this is Surah Jumu'ah. We were talking one case there and this is again you can find verse number 12, and this is Surah Al-Jumu'ah, okay, part 28. Here the word is wa iza ra'aw tijaratan aw lahwan. Aw lahwa, this alif is there, and then next word is nin faddu. Remember, we already covered on that when we are joining these two words, where two alif come together in between two words. One word is ending with alif and next word starting with alif. The first word letter alif will altogether will be ignored. So that will be aw lahwanil faddu. If you say وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا فَضُّوا, because that is not in a same line. That line, the first line is ending lahwa, alif is there, and it is more likely that person recites ra'aw tijaratan aw lahwa, because alif is there and the next line is starting, and that is nil faddu. No, not in this case. Lahwa nin faddu, alif will be altogether ignored. So in this case, you can highlight in your copy of the Holy Quran, you can put a cross on that or write down something in margin so that you may remember. Now the question naturally comes, if I am going to stop here, وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا, because alif is there, I'm stopping here. How I start from the next word, which is in the second line. So either I would start nin faddu, or what is the role of this miniature noon? Remember the miniature noon, the small noon, wherever it comes in the Holy Quran, especially in this text of the Holy Quran, Yassirul Quran, it is underneath of alif. Okay, and now in order to facilitate the readers, because the people were making many mistakes, so they have taken out this small noon, and that is the part of they have shifted back to the backward, and even the new copies which are printed, for example, Tarjumatul Quran, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabi Rahmatullah, you cannot find in this case, underneath alif that that has shifted back because that was making a mistake. Okay, remember this, somebody can say, okay, if it was written in the earliest writing system, noon, small noon, why it is being shifted to the back? Remember, in the early scripture there was no sign of small noon or any punctuation or any harakat or any tashdid or any sign, because they were the people of language. They know how to pronounce these words, and mostly they already memorized the Holy Quran with the right and correct pronunciation. And if there were some who want to read from the text, from the Mus'haf, by reading, paper reading, they were able to read correctly. And afterwards, for our facilitation, the second, the Ajmi, the non-Arab, who their first language was not Arabic, these things were introduced. So this noon we find in South Asian copies, this small noon. My point is here, in this case, you will totally ignore this noon, and what is left if you remove that noon, that is alif. And we have already discussed that when there is a alif, you have to see the next letter. If that is a not lam, it means there are only two options remain for us. Either it will be with fatha or with dhamma. And sorry, it will be kasra or dhamma. With fatha, it can't be that, because after alif, if there is a lam, then alif will take a fatha. That is usul. That is a rule. But in this case, we find that after alif there is no lam, so fatha rule or fatha option is crossed out. We have only with two options, either with a dhamma or with a kasra. Now in this case, after a second letter, or you can say after the very first mutaharrik letter, a letter with a stroke, is fa. Okay, on noon it can't be with a stroke, but because that is a skoon, a jazm on that. The stroke means fatha kasra dhamma. That is, stroke is equal to harakat in Arabic. So fa with a stroke of a fatha or harakat fatha. So in this case, if there is a with a fatha or kasra mutaharrik letter, alif will take always with a kasra. So it will be infaddu if we are starting together in the beginning. If fa could have a dhamma, so in this case it would be straight away faddu. So that we covered, in the previous word there. Now, for example, here the word is waminat tijarati, and here you find alif lam. How would we start? At tijarati, because alif will take fatha, because we after alif there is a lam, and there is no option of dhamma and kasra available to us. We straight away, we do not think what is after mutaharrik letter, which is ta, at tijara. Because of lam, alif lam together in the first two letters, alif will take fatha. And like similar, al-lahwi, khayrum min al-lahwi. So al-lahwi, at-tijarati, and khayrul razikin, ar-raziqina. Okay, so that is quite clear for us. And now another example is we find Suratul Kahf, and Suratul Kahf, verse number 39. And it is also very important for you to understand and to take note of that. You see, two slides before, we covered Suratul Kahf, and I told you verse number 24, 26, and now verse number 39. Here the word lakinna, on lakinna, noon mushaddad followed by alif, and alif demanding that it should be stretched. Noon should be stretched. Lakinna, but remember, on the left, it is shown that this is alif zaida, mean this is an excessive alif. It is an extra alif, and it is written, but it should not be pronounced. So the care should be taken. Even 99%, maybe 100% in our homes, we have this copy, a simple reading of the Holy Quran, Sada Quran Majid. Yasal Quran Sada. So in this case, you cannot find a cross in the text. And if you are just focusing the text, then most 99%, it is a likelihood, it is a chance, possibility that you will read rajula and they say lakinna huwallahu rabbi, because on you can say on alif, I would be read that one because alif is a alif madda, so it is that. But on the margin it say this alif zaida. So it is important that you open this copy of the Holy Quran, and mostly we have that. You put a cross on that here in the text, so you do not make a mistake or error. Either you highlight, make a cross on that, so that is aligning with the this margin, okay, where it is written that lakinna alif is alif zaida. So it will be the right pronunciation will be lakinnahu wallahu, lakinnahu wallahu. Though it is not written, but you have to do that. Now, with regards to verse number 40, which is the last line, the third line in this picture, here in tarani ana aqalla, and we have already covered that the word ana has come in the Holy Quran 41 times. Okay, so if you remember the rule that ana, where alif is written, like I gave you the example of Surah Al Kafirun, then this alif will not be pronounced when we joining together. So if I say in tarani ana aqalla minka, that will be right. But if I say, in making a stop on that, then that alif will be pronounced. That will be part of recitation. Remember, for example, لا قوة إلا بالله إن طرني أنا will be long when we're making pause. But I think that is not as sensible if you make a pause on that. Just for a teaching or for understanding, you can do that, that it can be done. But there is no meaningful pausing here. In Tarani Ana, that is not a meaningful pause or stop here. So better that if you can continue. So that is about verse number 39, especially, and also 40 about that. Now we come to this verse number, Surah Kaf, again, verse number 15. And remember in the beginning, I taught you about this word nad'uwa. Again, this is the same case in copies at home. We find this word, and after nad'uwa, because alif is there, so high possibilities that everyone at home will be reading lan nad'uwa min dunihi without noticing that on the margin it is written that it is alif zaida. So it is important that you highlight that here a cross or some writing on the margin that is not going, it is vowelless, it is not going to be the part of pronunciation. So the right pronunciation will be lan nad'uwa, lan nad'uwa min dunihi. If you say lan nad'uwa min dunihi, as it is there, it is a possibility without noticing the alif zaida indication on the margin, then that will be against the or not correct pronunciation. And sometime correct pronunciation not definitely changing the meaning, but changing the rhythmical beauty. Okay, so as I gave you the examples in the previous slides, mostly they could change the meaning, but sometime there is no change of meaning as it is, but the whole the way the pronunciation will be very compromised, and people will those who know that what is the right pronunciation, that will be they were feeling not good with such mispronunciation. So another example, and this is the last example. So, and this is Suratul Fajr, okay, in part 30, verse number 24 and 29. So basically, these are the Mus'haf pictures which already taught you in the beginning in the slides. You may remember we taught about a blank alif. And in this case, in verse number 24, look, this is alif. And just before that, there's a maksur letter. That is a letter with a kasra. So in this case, this alif will be part of the spelling, but altogether it will be ignored. And the pronunciation will be waji'a. Remember some, on alif that is a written a madda, but this madda is not because of this alif. This madda is because of this after ya is hamza is coming on that floor, on that same level. So that will be waji'a. So that should be understood. Okay. And then again, another revision of that. This is the word irji'i. Remember, ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. So in this case, a blank alif, we start from the beginning, the first word line. Waja'a rabbuka wal malaku. Remember, al malaku. Okay. Al insanu, yatazakkarul insanu, separately, al insanu, because alif lam together. Okay, wa anna lahu dhikra. What will be alif lam? The option of kasra and dhamma is taken out, just crossed out. Alif lam, just fatha, adh-dhikra. Okay, then again, ya ayyatuha nafsu, an-nafsu, alif lam, an-nafsu, al-mutmainna. But here, alif after the irji, after alif, there is no alif. So we have only two options. Either we have to deal with the fatha, kasra, or dhamma. Dhamma will always be when the mutaharrik letter, the very first mutaharrik letter is a dhamma. So in this case, jim is not a dhamma, madmum. So we can't say urji, because some people say, okay, ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'innatu. The last mutaharrik letter tu was. So if we are starting after a pause, it will be maybe under the same case. We say urji'i. Oh, not in this case. It will be irji'i, and we have covered that. So that is the conclusion of this presentation. And we have just covered the blank alif. And inshallah ta'ala, what about the waw and ya and lam? As I told you, that will be covered in the second round, inshallah. But mostly in the empty letters or in the blank letters, alif need our more attention and concentration. And by the grace of Allah, we have covered this alif. And now I give to Oman Sahib for the third presentation, please.
Jazakumullah, Officer. Thank you very much. Now we move to the next presentation. I welcome you all in this Baitul Noor Qur'an Symposium. We have listened to very scholarly presentations. Now, as we all know that the Holy Quran is the book of the gracious God. It leads to the path of knowledge and wisdom. Those who keep reading it receive God's favor and pleasure and blessings. So Quran is the words of God. We need to recite it very carefully, very thoughtfully, and by applying all the rules of correct recitation. We need to make an extra effort to learn the Quran, correct recitation of the Holy Quran by learning all the tajweed rules. Today we have listened summary of many rules in two presentations. If you have listened carefully, you will remember all these rules. And based on these some common rules, we have arranged a Quran quiz today. I will read the question from the slides, and the 4 multiple choice answer will be available on the slide. And you can read from the slide, and then I will release the poll for you to choose the best answer in what do you think the correct and right answer. Then I will share the percentage of correct answer you have given me, and then the total percentage of total of these correct answers will be the aggregate total of your region. So I would expect that everyone should take part in this quiz, because it's an anonymous quiz. We don't know who is giving which answer. So please just click on the right answer and give me as quickly as possible. I will release the poll like 5-6 seconds, and you can do it easily within that time. So the first question for you is, how many alphabets are in the Arabic language? Is it 36, 29, 27, or 26? You know, every language has got alphabets. So in Arabic, how many alphabets are there? So I'm going to give you the poll now, and you can answer very easily by clicking the right answer. Just give me what do you think the right answer is? It's a 36, 29, 27, or 26. I would request all of you, please take part in this. It's an anonymous quiz, so we need to know what is the status of your Tajweed knowledge of this in this region. Then we will arrange some classes as well. So at the moment, I'm gonna share the result with you now. 77% have said 29, and 29 is the correct answer. So this region, 27% think there are 29 alphabets in the Holy Quran. Now I will move to the next question. The next question is, as per rule of recitation, which letter is called a maksur letter? A letter with fatha, a letter with kasra, a letter with sukoon, or letter with dhamma? I'm going to give you poll now. So next question is for you. As per rules of recitation, which letter is called a maksur letter? A letter with fatha, a letter with kasra, a letter with sukoon, or letter with dhamma? So 80%, I'm going to share the result with you now. 80% have said it's a letter with kasra is the right answer. And yes, that's the correct option. Number 2 is 80% have given me the right answer. So I'm stop sharing now. The next question for you is, third question, how many letters are called haruful leen? We have learned this in the first presentation. Is there are 2 letters or 3 letters or 4 letters or 5 letters which are called haruful leen? So the next 2 letters, 3 letters, 4 letters or 5 letters are called haruful leen. Well done, very quick answers. Thank you very much. And 53 now, only 64% have said there are 2 huruful leen. So correct option is there are 2 huruful leen, and 64% have given me the share. I'm going to share the result for you. So 64% have said there are 2 huruful leen, which is the correct answer. So we will move to the next question. Which surah of the Holy Quran is always read in Jumu'ah Friday prayer? Is it Surah Al-Ghashiyah, Surah Al-Ala, Surah Al-Jumu'ah, or Surah Al-Fatiha? There are 4 options for you. So please choose the right option. And the question number 4 for you is now, I'm launching the poll. Which surah of the Holy Quran is always read in Jumu'ah prayer? 45% have already answered. Quickly, please, as quickly as possible. Now, I'm going to share the result with you. So 53% have said Surah Al-Fatiha, and 22% Surah Ghashiyah, 20% Surah Ala. So 53% is the right answer. Surah Al-Fatiha is the surah which you should always read in any namaz, and then you can recite any part of the Holy Quran if it's a normal namaz, salat, or it's a Friday prayer. So Surah Al-Fatiha is a prayer which is compulsory to recite in every prayer. So I'm going to share the result. The next question for you is, how many prostration of recitations Sujudu Talawa are there in the Holy Quran? 13, 14, 15, or 16? I'm going to give you poll now. Question number 5. There we go. How many prostration of recitation? 13, 14, 15, or 16? Well done. 50% have already answered. Quickly, please. Now I'm going to share result with you. And 51% have said 15, and 19% 13, 22% 14. So 51% have given me the right answer. So we will move to the next question. How many Arabic letters are sometimes pronounced with heavy, thick sound, or sometimes with light and thin sound? How many Arabic letters are sometimes pronounced with thick or heavy sound, and sometimes in certain conditions they are pronounced with the thin sound? Are they 3, 7, 10, or 19? Options are there. I'm going to give you all now. Please give answer as quickly as possible. Third, mashallah, 45% have already answered. Quickly, please. So 53% have given me the right answer. There are 3 letters, alif, lam, and ra, which are under certain condition pronounced thick sound, and sometime with the thin sound. Now the next question for you, question number 7. Which letter is the sign of al-waqf al-mutlaq, absolute pause? Is a letter jim, letter kaf, letter ta, or letter mim? I'm going to give you poll now. Please give answer me as quickly as possible. Which letter is the sign for al-waqf al-mutlaq, absolute pause? Okay, 29% have given me 29% have given me meme, 54% have ta, and 6% have kaf, and 11% have given me jim. It's a letter kaf. So only 6% have given me the right answer. That's strange thing. Next question for you, question number 8. Noon sakin is always pronounced with izhar, clear noon, for 1 second if it is followed by a madda letter, if a kalkala letter, if noon sakin is followed by a lean letter, or if noon sakin is followed by a throat letter. So I'm going to give you poll now for this question. Please answer as quickly as possible. A noon sakin is always pronounced with izhar, is followed by a madda, kalkala letter, lean letter, or throat letter. Mashallah, quickly please. More. Thank you very much. I'm more than 60% have answered, so I'm gonna end polling now and share the result with you. 53% have given me the answer a throat letter, which is the right option. 17% are lean letter, 12% kalkala letter, and 18% madda letter. So 53% have given me the right answer. So we will move to the next question, which is question number 9. How long should we prolong al-maddul arid, waqfi, temporary elongation due to pause? When we are pausing on a word, certain word, how long should we prolonging al-maddul arid, waqfi? Is it 2 seconds, 4 seconds, or 6 seconds, or any of the above? Which one is the correct option? I'm gonna give you the poll now. Question number 9. Please give me the answer as quickly as possible. The 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 6 seconds, or any of the above. Maddul Arid Waqfi. MashaAllah, 50% have already answered. So as soon as at least 60%, I will close the poll. Quickly. And now, yes, more than 60% have given me the answer. So I'm going to end polling now. Share the result with you. 42% have given the 2 seconds, 18% 4 seconds, and 6% 6 seconds, and 34% have decided any of the above. So 34% have given the right answer. It depends on the mode of your recitation. On Maddul Arid Waqfi, you can prolong it for 2 seconds, you can 4 seconds or 6 seconds. It's up to you what is the type of recitation you are doing at the moment. So the next question, the last question is Hamzatul Wasl blank alif will always take fatha if next mutaharrik letter is carries a kasra sign, if next letter is lam, if next mutaharrik letter carries dhamma, or if next mutaharrik letter carries a fatha sign. So blank alif. If you have listened to Hafiz's presentation, you can answer very quickly to this one as well. So I'm going to give you poll now. Please answer as quickly as possible. Hamzatul Wasl always take fatha if next mutaharrik letter is lam, next mutaharrik letter is kasra or dhamma or fatha. Which one is the right answer? MashaAllah, 44% have given the right, already answered. Only a few more seconds I will wait, and then we will move to the end polling. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to share result with you now. 4% have decided to choose if next mutaharrik letter carries a kasra sign, and 64% if next letter is a lam, 4% next mutaharrik letter is dhamma, and 27% think there if next letter mutaharrik letter is a fatha sign. But the correct answer is if next letter is a lam, if it's a lam is a blank lam or is any with the sukoon sign or with shadda, and then it will blank alif will take fatha sign. So it means 64% have given me the right answer. So after that's the poll for this Quranic Kareem. 54% is the aggregate total of the correct answer for this region. And I will move to the last question now before hand over mic to my next colleague. Could you please select the option how many members of your family are attending this symposium today? If only one member is attending, please choose option 1. If 2 members are attending at the moment, then choose 2. If 3 members are attending, then please choose option 3. If 4 members are attending, option 4. Or if 5 or 5 more than 5 people are attending from your household, then please choose the option 5. So I'm going to give you poll now. So this will help us to take the attendance for this symposium. Could you please answer as quickly as possible? That will be I think the most easiest question. Just look around on your left and right and see how many people are attending this symposium. So quickly, please answer as quickly as possible. Thank you very much. So 33% have said they are attending only one person, and 27% have said they are attending two. 22% have said three, and 9% have four, and 9% have said five or more. So that is the conclusion of my presentation, and I will hand over mic to
Dabir sir.
Dabir Sahib.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is the Talimul-Quran Baitul Noor Regional Symposium 2021.
Yeah, Baitul Noor, yes.
Baitul Noor. Oh my goodness, yes. Spelling mistake, my mistake, I'll correct that. Baitul Noor region. So this is to introduce our website and what is available on our website. The website is available from ahmadiyya.uk. This is the Jamaat website. In the Jamaat website, we have all the other websites which are available. Let me just take this. So if you go to departments, if you enter ahmadiyya.uk, you come to this website. This was introduced last year, middle of last year. And here you will see all the other Jamaat departments, finance, Ishat, IT, Tabligh, and Talimul-Quran is also there. So if you click on that, you will come to our website, the Talimul-Quran website. The other way to enter our website is by entering ahmadiyya.uk /NQC, and it will take you directly to our website here. Now here you will see there are two menus. There's the top menu, home, online courses, class recordings, and at the bottom you've got the Hifzul Quran, Waqf Arzi, and so on. The first thing I'll do is I'll go to the download sections. In the download sections, you have the various downloads, various resources available, which are very useful for the learning of the Holy Quran and for advancing your knowledge on the Holy Quran. So if I look at the material available here is both English and Urdu. So on this side, for example, if I go down, you have the commentary of Surah Al-Fatiha by Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam in English, short commentary of the Holy Quran. You could download that, as well as this is also in English और उर्दू में भी इधर हमारी उर्दू की भी कुछ कुतुब हैं तफसीरुल कुरान हज़रत मसीह माऊद ये उर्दू में आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं तफसीर कबीर हज़रत मुस्लिम माऊद रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु और वगैरह वगैरह और इसमें है डिक्शनरी ऑफ द होली कुरान इन इंग्लिश इज अवेलेबल and then उसके होली कुरान ग्रामर वॉल्यूम 1 वॉल्यूम 2 ये उर्दू में है स्प्लिट वर्ड ट्रांसलेशन ये भी उर्दू में है and the introduction of the chapters of Hazrat by Khalifatul Masih Rabir rahmatullahi alayhi. Non-Muslim writers about the Holy Quran, very useful what the non-Muslims think about and have written about the Holy Quran. Significance of repetition of the Holy Quran in English and so on. Miracles of the Holy Quran is also very useful download to look at. Next, having done the download section, you can go to the online courses here at the top. And what's available here are some of the courses that are available for you to enroll on and a self-paced basis. You know, you can enroll on these and go at your own pace, at your own leisure on the internet. This is the Tafsirul Quran level 1, level 2 for children and for adults. Diploma Quranic studies, this is being developed. Tarjamatul-Quran is a course that has taken place in the past and is now available as a self-paced learning course. Same with Talimul-Quran. So just as an example, if I was to click on the Talimul-Quran course to see what it looks like, I can click on the G level course, G level 1 course here. You will see they're all split in easy lessons. So you've got recognition of dots, Then there's a quiz after that. There's a second lesson is Arabic letters, and the quiz after that. Some have quizzes, some don't, but you can follow the lesson step by step and do a self-paced learning for your own benefit here. But also, we every year so far we have been running courses, and we have recordings available for these courses. So 2020, for example, you have, if I click on the 2021, we have the Talimul-Quran. The current course is being run at the moment. The G1 recordings are available. And if I click on a random, these are all available on our YouTube channel. So this is what it looks like, and this is actually a video. You can play the video, you can listen to it, you can skip and go to the various parts of the video. So very, very useful to go back and look at what's being taught. Then we have the recitational analysis, if I on the main menu here, and this is an in-depth analysis of some of the verses that we use for tabligh purposes. So if I click on one of them, a famous verse that we often use in a tabligh is وَمَا مُحَمَّدٍ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ. Again, it tells you simple elongation, وَمَا, 2-second elongation there, Muhammadun Ghunna for 2 seconds, and so on. Similarly, we also have the translation analysis, and this is a breakdown of that verse, of how the verse is translated. For example, wa is resumption, a particle of negation, ma, and so on and forth. So you can look at that in your own time there. Then at the bottom menu, we have the multimedia, Quran multimedia. We have some iPhone and Android apps available for for the Talimul-Quran department. So if I look at the Talimul-Quran app, this one here is the again, you can download this, and you could be on your bus on a train journey. I mean, nowadays you don't do much train journeys because of COVID situation, but you could do this when you don't need the internet once it's down on your phone, and you can then look through the rules of the Talimul-Quran. There's also the Quran quiz app. There are 15 quizzes. Each one has 10 questions, and you can go through the questions, and at the end it tells you the score, and then you can go back to review your answers, and then you can option to choose to retake the quiz or see the answers to see where you have gone wrong and make the corrections. And this is a good way of learning about the Holy Quran. This is the Talimul-Quran class. You can access the recordings via your YouTube, via this app. Then you can see some of on the last 10 surahs, correct recitation of the last 10 surahs. This is a recitation followed by a child is copying the recitation, and it is copied, and you can listen to it twice, 3 times, in other words. So this is a good way of correcting the recitation of the last 10 surahs of the Holy Quran. Also, we have the Quran quiz, which is available on the website as well. It's actually the same Quran quiz, which is on the app as well. Then there is question answer. I would like to encourage you all to submit any questions that you have on this. You can ask a question, and an answer will be given to you very shortly, inshallah. Next, we have the group learning application. Here, the group learning application, you can click on that. Our G classes, G1 to G8, G1, G2, G3, G4, they are normally oversubscribed. So I would encourage you to go and onto this link and apply as soon as possible. G1, for example, on this link, it tells you who it's for, how long it's for. G2 is a level 2, G3 is Hifzul Quran classes, G4 is for Lajna group only, and there is others, G4, G5, G6, G7, G8. G8 is currently being run, which is being very popular. The Quran Arabic in Urdu grammar lessons. And that brings me to the end of the presentation. Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah Hasan Jaza, Dabir Bhatti Sahib. So that was about our website, Talimul-Quran website, and the apps. So,
Afzal, if I may give you the attendance for today's event.
Yeah.
294.
Okay, 294. So, Masr Fazal region, how was there? How much was there?
I think they were 418.
Okay. So, inshallah ta'ala, we'll come back. So, quickly, I like to give them a demo of just a minute.
Can I, while Hafiz Sahib is thinking, can I also promote something here? I would like, we're always looking for teachers. The Talimul-Quran class that you have that are on the website are mostly run by Lajna. Excellent teachers. They're really good, and it is very, very rewarding. And year in, year out, they come and they're teaching, and they find it very fulfilling. So we are looking for teachers. We're always looking for teachers. So please do apply. Again, you can apply on, in fact, Hafiz, we have got an application on this website.
Yeah. And also, Visa, if we can promote the Waqf Arzi, the Waqf Arzi scheme on our website, how to do this one. I think I just go to so if there is a share screen and Waqf Arzi. Okay, now you can see here, this is question answer forum. And if you have any question to ask, this is the time you can ask any question related to the Holy Quran or Waqf Arzi or the department, anything. You just choose your email, your name and your email, and send to us, and inshallah it will be sent back. The answer will be given here as well. And then Waqf Arzi is also a very important part of our Talimul-Quran. You can download all these material which is available here, and the form, basically the virtual Waqf Arzi, the possibility and that is currently going on, virtual Waqf Arzi. So that's name, email, AIMS number, and all that, and you can send for 1 week or 2 weeks or 6 weeks. So starting, so we need from male and female all Waqfin Arzi who could commit for teaching the Holy Quran or teaching the Salat, even the Salat which was presented today, the common errors. If we can give you all the material, and within your Jamaat or outside, and wherever according to your the date you gave to us in the form, we will allocate 1 or 2 Jamaats to you, and then you can teach them. So virtual Waqf Arzi will be done on Zoom or different internet. So with regards to group learning that was taught you, this time is G2 is going on by the grace of Allah, and G4 is going on. G3 for the next courses where your family, whatever age of your any member that is good for you, meaning the G3 for the students 6 to 12 years old. G5 class is coming, family Quran class, that will be after Ramadan this year, inshallah, starting 18th May, and you can take part in that, and that is in Urdu as well. And then G6, that will be in September, that is for Muta'allimat. G7 for the Pan-African and the new converts. So that is quite also once a week, Tuesday, and it is ongoing class, and that is in English. And G8, that is in Urdu class, Quranic Arabic grammar lessons. And Alhamdulillah, very good attendance. And we have plenty of places available there. So if you want to take part, apply here and you will be sent all the links. And it is done every Tuesday and Friday, 7 to 8. 4 classes have gone, and you can view the recordings on our YouTube channel. So that is the conclusion of our presentations. And now, Mike, back to Regional Amir Sahib.
Ji, Assalamualaikum Hafiz Sahab. Jazakallah. Firstly, thank you very much for organizing a beautiful presentation for our region. And Alhamdulillah, attendance looks okay to me. I know it's a bit less compared to the region, but Alhamdulillah, this is our first session. So I hope, inshallah ta'ala, second will be more number, inshallah. So before we conclude for silent prayer, I just like to say a few things which I believe, because the attendance looks okay to me, so I just want to convey a few messages. Recently, member of the Jamaas were asking about the vaccine to be taken or not from Hazur Agdas. So Hazur clarifies who wants to take the vaccine, they can take their own decision, and they can get their vaccine done. And inshallah, our region is organizing a coronavirus vaccination session in next week, Wednesday the 27th, 6 p.m. And I like to request everyone, if you could join this session, maybe you can have plenty of questions to ask to NHS doctor. So regarding the vaccine, so that will be helpful for anyone who have any question in terms of coronavirus virus vaccine, which is available in our area, in our borough as well. And Hafiz Sahab has already covered about Waqf-e Arzi. In our recent mulaqat, Hazur Agdas has asked all our Jamaat Amla members to come forward for Waqf-e Arzi. So please consider that one. And as Hafiz Sahab already mentioned on his website, there is a form which need to be filled. And I think once you have done that, Waqf-e Arzi department will allocate, especially basically what we need to do is we need to encourage all our Amla members from Lajna, from auxiliaries, which Hazur has addressed on last week's mulaqat. So we have to pay full attention towards Hazur's wish. So I request everyone to look into this. And I would like to thank all the participants, Hafiz Fazli Rabi Sahab and his team, for organizing such a beautiful presentation. And inshallah ta'ala, as he said, that next session will be after Ramadan. So we look forward for second session that will be more helpful for us. Jazakallah. So before we conclude, can I request Hafiz Fazli Rabi Sahab to lead us in silent prayer?
Now, Regional Amir Sahab, you please lead us, or Rabi Sahab.
Okay, join me in silent prayer.
Yeah.
Ameen.